Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshama. Krishna, 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 Pahima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahima. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Nithai Gauranga, Goda Hari. Prabhu Nityananda, Prabhu Nityananda, Prabhu Nityananda, Nithai Gaur. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Gopala Govinda Rama Shri Madhusudana. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Avastang Gatopi Va StMoritz Pundarika Akshang Sapahya Abhyantara Suchi. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Om Ajnana Timarandhasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukang Karoti Vachalang Pangong Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamahang Vande Sri Gurum Dina Taranam. Yat Kripa Tamahang Vande Parama Ananda Madhavam. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarar Iva Sahishnuna Amanina manadina kirtaniya sadahari. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Eva Kevalam, Klau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyatha. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chitete Koriya Aikya, Arna Koriho Mane Asha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are finishing up the final chapter of the actual Krishna book. And this is chapter 90, summary description of Lord Krishna's pastimes. This is the fourth installment of this chapter, and it is a purport to what we previously studied the last two sessions. Prabhupada writes, all the wives of Lord Krishna were completely absorbed in thoughts of him. Krishna is known as Yogishvara, the master of all yogis. And all the wives of Krishna who lived with him in Dwaraka used to keep this Yogishvara within the core of their hearts. Instead of trying to be master of all yogic mystic powers, it is better if one simply keeps the supreme Yogishvara, Krishna, within one's heart. In this way, one's life can become perfect, and one can very easily be transferred to the kingdom of God. It is to be understood that all the queens of Krishna who lived with Krishna at Dwaraka in their previous lives were all very greatly exalted devotees who wanted to establish a relationship with Krishna in conjugal love. Thus, they were given the chance to become Krishna's wives and enjoy a constant loving relationship with Krishna. Ultimately, they were all transferred to the Vaikuntha planets. The Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead is never impersonal. All the Vedic scriptures glorify the transcendental performance of Krishna's various personal activities and pastimes. It is said in the Vedas and in the Ramayana that only the activities of the Lord and his devotees are described. Everywhere in the Vedic literature, Krishna's glories are sung. As soon as soft-hearted people hear those transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, immediately one becomes attracted to Krishna. Soft-hearted women and girls are therefore very easily drawn to the Krishna consciousness movement. One who is thus drawn to the Krishna consciousness movement and tries to keep him or herself in constant touch with such consciousness certainly gets the supreme salvation of going back to Krishna in his abode known as Goloka Vrindavan. So, if simply by developing Krishna consciousness one can be transferred to the spiritual world, one can simply imagine how blissful and blessed were the queens of Lord Krishna in Dwaraka. The queens talked with Krishna personally and were seeing Lord Krishna face to face. Indeed, no one can properly describe the great fortune of the wives of Lord Krishna. They took care of Krishna personally by rendering various transcendental services like bathing Krishna, feeding Krishna, pleasing Krishna, and serving Krishna. Thus, no one's austerities can compare to the service of the queens at Dwaraka. Shukadeva Goswami then informed Maharaj Parikshit that for self-realization, the austerities and penances performed by the queens at Dwaraka have no comparison. The objective of self-realization is one, Krishna. Therefore, although the dealings of the queens with Krishna appear just like ordinary dealings between a husband and wife, the principal point to be observed is the queen's attachment for Krishna. The entire process of austerity and penance is meant to detach one from the material world and simultaneously enhance one's attachment to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the shelter of all persons advancing in self-realization. As the ideal householder, Krishna lived with his wives and performed Vedic rituals just to show less intelligent persons that the Supreme Lord is never impersonal. Krishna lived with his wives and children in all opulence, exactly like an ordinary conditioned soul, just to teach those souls who are actually conditioned that they must enter into the family circle of Krishna, where Krishna is the center. This is known as Achyuta Gotra. For example, the members of the Yadu dynasty lived in the family of Krishna, and Krishna was the center of all their activities. Renunciation is not as important as enhancing one's attachment to Krishna. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for this purpose. We are preaching the principle that it does not matter whether one is a sannyasi or a grihasta. No, one simply has to increase his or her attachment for Krishna, and then one's life is successful. Following in the footsteps of Lord Sri Krishna, one can live with his or her family members or within society or one's nation, not for the purpose of indulging in sense gratification, but to realize Krishna by advancing in attachment for Krishna. In Hindu philosophy or Vedic philosophy, there are 4 principles of elevation from conditioned life to the life of liberation. These are technically known as Dharma, religiosity; Artha, economic development; Kama, sense gratification; and Moksha, liberation. So, if one lives a family life following in the footsteps of Lord Krishna's family members, then one can achieve all 4 of these principles of success simultaneously by making Krishna the center of all activities. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I just want to do a quick bhajan before we go to our next part. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jasodanandana Gopi Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Gaurahari Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram. So our next segment is entitled Krishna's Dynasty. So this is the fifth installment part of this chapter. It is already known to us that Krishna had 16,108 wives. All these wives were exalted, liberated souls, and among them, Queen Rukmini was the chief. After Rukmini, there were seven other principal wives, and the names of the sons of these 8 principal queens have already been mentioned. Now, besides the sons born of these 8 principal queens, Lord Krishna had 10 sons by each of the other queens. Thus, altogether, Krishna's sons numbered 16,108 times 10. So one should not be astonished to hear that Krishna had so many sons. Rather, one should always remember that Krishna is God and that he has unlimited potencies. Krishna claims all living entities as his sons. So, the fact that Krishna had 161,080 sons attached to him personally should be no cause for astonishment. Now, among Krishna's greatly powerful sons, 18 of these sons were Maharathas. A Maharatha could fight alone against many thousands of foot soldiers, chariot drivers, cavalry, and elephants. The reputations of these 18 sons are very widespread and are described in almost all the Vedic scriptures. The 18 Maharatha sons are listed as follows: Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Deeptiman, Bhanu, Samba, Madhu, Brihad Bhanu, Chitra Bhanu, Vrika, Aruna, Pushkara, Vedabahu, Srutadeva, Sunandana, Chitra Bahu, Virupa, Kavi, and Nyagrodha. Of these 18 Maharatha sons of Krishna, Pradyumna is considered foremost. Pradyumna happened to be the eldest son of Queen Rukmini, and Pradyumna inherited all the qualities of his great father, Lord Krishna. Pradyumna married the daughter of his maternal uncle, Rukmi, and from that marriage, Aniruddha was born. Aniruddha was so powerful that he could fight alone against 10,000 elephants. And Aniruddha married the granddaughter of Rukmi, the brother of his grandmother, Rukmini. Because the relationship between these cousins was distant, such a marriage was not uncommon. Aniruddha's son was named Vadra. And when the whole Yadu dynasty was destroyed by the curse of some Brahmanas, only this son, Vadra, survived. Vadra had one son whose name was Pratibahu. The son of Pratibahu was named Subahu. The son of Subahu was named Shantasena. And the son of Shantasena was Shatasena. It is stated by Shukadeva Goswami that all the members of the Yadu dynasty also had many children. Just as Krishna had many sons, grandsons, and great-grandsons, each one of the kings named herewith also had similar family extensions. Not only did all of them have many children, but all were extraordinarily rich and opulent. None of them were weak or short-lived. And above all the members of the Yadu dynasty were staunch devotees of Brahmanical culture. Indeed, it is the duty of Kshatriya kings to maintain Brahminical culture and protect qualified Brahmanas. All these kings discharged their duties properly. The members of the Yadu dynasty were so numerous that it would be very difficult to describe all of them, even if one had a duration of life of many thousands of years. Shukadeva Goswami informed Maharaj Parikshit that he had heard from reliable sources that simply to teach the children of the Yadu dynasty, there were as many as 38,800,000 tutors or acharyas. If so many teachers were needed to educate their children, one can simply imagine how vast was the number of family members. And as for their military strength, it is said that King Ugrasena alone had 10 quadrillion soldiers as his personal bodyguards. Before the advent of Lord Krishna within this universe, there were many battles between demons and demigods. Many demons died in the fighting, and they were all given a chance to take birth in high royal families on this earth. Because of their royal exalted posts, all these demons became very much puffed up, and their only business was to harass their subjects. Lord Krishna appeared on this planet just at the end of Dwarapara Yuga to annihilate all these demoniac kings. As it is said in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse, Paritranaya sadhunang vinashaya cha dushkratam. The Lord comes to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. Some of the demigods were asked to appear on this earth in order to assist in the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. When Krishna appeared, Krishna came in the association of his eternal servitors. But some of the demigods were also requested to come down to assist him, and thus they took their births in the Yadu dynasty. The Yadu dynasty had 101 clans in different parts of the country. All the members of these different clans respected Lord Krishna in a manner befitting Krishna's divine position, and all of them were Krishna's devotees, heart and soul. Thus, all the members of the Yadu dynasty were very opulent, happy, and prosperous. They had no anxieties. Because of their implicit faith and devotion to Lord Krishna, they were never defeated by any other kings. Their love for Krishna was so intense that in their regular activities, while sitting, sleeping, traveling, talking, sporting, cleansing, bathing, they were simply absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and thus paid no attention to their bodily necessities. Yes, that is one of the symptoms of a pure devotee of Krishna. Just as when a man is fully absorbed in some particular thought, he sometimes forgets his other bodily activities. The members of the Yadu dynasty acted automatically for their bodily necessities, but their actual attention was always fixed on Krishna. Their bodily activities were thus performed mechanically, but their minds were always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hold on. So what this is a song purport of a famous song in the Vaishnava song catalog. It's Prabhupada's purport to the song Nitai Gunamani.
This is a song sung by Lochandas Thakur, almost a contemporary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has got many books on the life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, he is saying that Lord Nityananda is full of good qualities. Gunamani. Gunamani means the jewel of all qualities. So Nitai Gunamani Amar, Nitai Gunamani. He is repeatedly uttering that Lord Nityananda is the reservoir of all good qualities. Aniya premera banna bhasaila avani. And on account of his spiritual qualities, he inundated the whole world by the flood of love of God. It is by his kindness people can feel what is love of God. Premer banna loiya nitai ailo gauradesh. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left home and took sannyas, he made his headquarters at Jagannath Puri. So after his accepting the sannyas order, when he left his home and country, Lord Nityananda Prabhu also accompanied him up to Jagannath Puri. So after a few days, Lord Chaitanya requested him that if both of us remain here, then we'll preach in Bengal. Bengal is known as Gauradesh. So, under the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he brought from him the flood of love of Godhead, and he distributed the whole of Bengal, Gauradesh, and in that flood of love of God, all devotees became drowned. Only those who are not devotees, they could not drown, but they were floating. Dina hina bhasha. But so far Nityananda Prabhu is concerned, he does not make any discrimination between devotees and non-devotees. Dina hina patita pamara nahi bach. Poor or rich or enlightened or foolish, everyone could take the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and become drowned in the ocean of love of Godhead. Such love of Godhead is Brahmara Dulla. Even Lord Brahma, who is the supreme creature within this universe, he also cannot relish. But by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu, this love of Godhead was distributed to everyone without any discrimination. So, Avadha Karuna Sindhu, it was just like a big ocean blocked all sides. Ocean of love of Godhead is a big ocean, but it was not inundated. So Nityananda Prabhu cut a canal from the ocean and he brought the canal in every door. Ghare ghare bule prem omiyarva. The flood of the nectar of the love of Godhead was thus distributed in each and every home in Bengal. Actually still, Bengal is overwhelmed when there is talk of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Lochan Bale, now the author is speaking on his behalf that anyone who does not take the advantage given by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, in his opinion, he thinks that such a person knowingly is committing suicide.
Okay, so now we'll do the Nrsimha prayers. Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Aklada Dayane Hiranya Kashipo Vaksha Shilatanga Nakalaye Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha Bahi Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimho Nrsimham Adin Sharanam Prapadye Avakara Kamala Varei Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipo Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Nrsimha Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadish, Jaya Jagadish, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Tat Sat.